This is a 2002 Honda CBR 954 RR. I came across this bike many years ago. It was my neighbor's bike, his first bike, which not the greatest choice as first bike, but great choice as a bike. Now in 2015 he parked it and never started it again. So the other day I was having lunch with him and he was like, hey, if you pay for the registration, you can have it. Mind you, I've been pestering him for years to just bring it to me so I can fix it for him. Now, if you would have to buy this bike in the shape it is and fix it, it's probably not worth it. Meaning, for a period of those last 7 years, this bike is being parked outside, under the sun, Southern California sun, rain, and then in the past few years it's been brought into the garage. As a matter of fact, when I picked up the bike, well, let's say it wasn't in great conditions. So everything that could be faded, it's kind of faded. Everything that could be rusted, it's kind of rusted. The switch stuck, easy fix. The cap is oxidated. It's a mess. It took me a while to get it open, by the way. And there are leaves and branches all over the bike. Obviously, the first thing I did when I brought it home, I washed it. Take it outside, give it a good scrub. And usually when you buy a used bike that is dirty, as this one was, and you give it a good wash, well, you usually look at it and go like, this doesn't look half as bad. I wish it was the case with this one as well. Instead, I washed it, and the closer I took a look at it, I was like, this is worse than I thought. So, in a few words, I did a gross estimate of what is it going to cost me to fix it. It's going to take a lot of labor. I made a bunch of post-its on my board, so every time I go through an item, I'm going to remove a post-it. I obviously have a plan in my head, and the plan is, first thing, make sure it runs, because if the engine is somewhat seized, well, this will all be for naught. According to my calculation, I'm gonna spend about $2,500 to $3,000 on the bike. Plus the due registration, it's probably another $700-800. So when everything is said and done, I'm gonna be between the $3,200 to $3,700, which is actually what Kelley Blue Book valued this bike at. So if you buy it for nothing, you fix it and you keep it, it might be actually a good bike, because this is a fantastic bike. The 954 was a fantastic bike and still is 20 years later. This is 20 years old. If on top of that I find out that the engine is seized and I need to do a full engine rebuild, well, they'll put me way over the top, and I'm better off by taking it apart and sell the parts and make my $800 back. Once I know that the engine is not running but is just spinning freely, then I can take care of everything else. I'm gonna probably start with each system individually. Overall the brake system, overall the drive system, overall the suspensions. I'm gonna try to reuse whatever I can out of the bike, and whatever I can't, I'm gonna have to buy either used in good shape or new OEM parts. I'm gonna try to bring it back to OEM specs. But first of all, let's strip it down, let's get rid of all the plastics, and let's see what we're working with. There are components I'm gonna keep, there are components that are gonna go straight in the trash, and one of those components is the fake carbon fiber mirrors, bar ends, sliders, and what other fake carbon fiber is around the bike. When I was a teenager, I was all about fake carbon fiber. Now I'm old, I'm tired, and I'm not anymore. So let's start getting rid of the mirrors and then the rest of the plastics. The beautiful thing about the Honda and most of the Japanese bikes is that with a few tools, you can actually take apart the whole bike. I'll guarantee it. Most is going to be 5mm Allen and 10 or 13mm wrenches. So, well, those were the last famous words, because it turns out most of the screws and bolts around the bike are not OEM. I found anything between Phillips, Allens, and some metal screws in there, some screws that I'm not even sure what they're used for, but they're there. And as a matter of fact, because on top of that most of the rubber is hardened, I found it very difficult to remove the fairings. As you guys can see, I just jumped to no fairings at all. That's because, again, thanks to the reliability of GoPro, all the footage from one of my GoPro cameras is gone. So, well, let's make do with what I got. Here I am taking the fuel tank off, and I had to actually open the garage door because the fuel was so bad. The smell of the fuel was so bad. That fuel was old, and probably all the good part of the fuel evaporated, leaving that faulty smell. But lots of came off the bike, and the more I take off, the more foliage I find, and the more I realize that there is a lot of work. All the tubings in there, it's hardened and cooked, so it needs replacing. More foliage over here, and surprise, surprise, heat wrap. Damn, heat wrap. I gotta get rid of that and give a general clean to the old bike. It needs it so bad, but it is what it is. Let's roll up our sleeves. Oh my god. Oh my god, there is so much dirt and everything is so little by little, one day at a time. I'm gonna start to see if the engine spins freely, and off camera, between this episode and the next, I'm gonna give it a clean. Anyway, thank you very much to the patrons that are still supporting me, and let's see how this goes. Let's see if we can bring this beautiful but awfully maintained motorcycle back to its former glory. There is gonna be some painting to do to get rid of rust. And most of the rubber parts gonna need to be replaced. So thanks for watching, work on your bike, and I'll see you next time.